David, can you just explain why you think that was really a mistake? I mean, surely, as mayor of New York, you go there to show support for one of the big taxpayers of the city, one of the big employers of the city. Why was that a bad idea?
Well, I think, the mayor is taking sides in what has become a conflict within the city between, to use blunt terms, have and have-nots. And, for all the reasons you mentioned, Goldman is very important. But let's talk about what Greg Smith actually talked about. I mean, he pointed out that he felt like Goldman's integrity wasn't important anymore. He pointed out that Goldman, was, thinking about clients as Muppets and worse. That it was all about profit generation, and he also harkened back to what we know about the firm, and that they had a $550 million settlement in regards to bilking their clients on the Abacus deal. And so I think the mayor is walking a dangerous line here in that he is supporting where he came from. Of course, Mike started Bloomberg. He worked at Merrill Lynch. He got his first job at Goldman. He is a Wall Street product. And I think for the rest of us who live in the city, who aren't involved in finance, we're sitting here saying, well, who does the mayor stand for when we have problems in the city, like we have foreclosures in the city at a higher rate than the national average?
What are you saying he should have done instead?
Well, I think
you should have gone with it.
He doesn't have to go down to Occupy Wall Street and stand up there and say, we are the 99%. But maybe he should not, align himself with a financial firm that has questionable ethics and questionable issues, that has run afoul with regulators and has done some things which are, it has been criticized.
Right,
for.
And they've run afoul of regulators in some ways, and we've seen that, and that's out there. We know that. I mean, we have one employee who writes an op-ed which was hard hitting, no question.
Yeah.
But is that enough for him to change his view on Goldman Sachs? A single op-ed in the New York Times, and in a sense, doesn't he owe it to support both sides in many ways? I mean, it's not like a zero-sum game necessarily. I mean, Goldman will still exist, will still generate taxes.
I think the mayor, we have a patrician mayor in this city, and we elect a patrician mayor with the understanding that he is going to take care of all New Yorkers. And it's not just the financial community, it's the people who are upset with the system or feel that they have gotten shafted by the system. New York's economy did suffer as a result of the financial crisis, and you can lay the blame at a lot of places, but the financial industry certainly deserves some of that blame. And so for people who are upset and feel disenfranchised by the system, they need a mayor too. They need someone to support them.
And one of your points was that they went to the upscale Shake Shack rather than a McDonald's. Can you just talk me through that? Because the Shake Shack burgers, yes, they're a little bit more, but at $5, it's hardly going to per se, I think.
Well, I mean, you could probably tell that was more of a literary device more than anything else. I love Shake Shack myself. If we had one in the building, I might eat there every day. I certainly don't fault them. But no, it was more the appearance. It was more the getting together and saying, we're friends. Whereas, when you talk about, the 5,000 people who've lost their homes in the foreclosure crisis, we don't see the mayor going, sharing burgers and fries with them. And I think that's a problem. And I think, Mayor Bloomberg's on his third term. His approval ratings are pretty low. And he was only elected with 51% of the vote after spending $90 million.
Okay, so what should he do now? In your view, if you were advising him, right now you say, look, you've been in to see Lloyd Blankfein. Your next move should be?
Meet with the occupiers. Because they are planning a summer of protests and activity here and in Washington. Meet with them and talk and try to get a dialogue going, saying, look, I respect your views. You're part of the city too, and I want to give you a place where you can be heard without jeopardizing public health.
Okay.
And
well, if he's
tuned
in, we'll see if he takes your advice. Thanks very much for joining us, David.